Additional aids and services are available to individuals with disabilities. To make such a request, please contact us by email, by clicking the Help tab in the PD portal, or at pdportal@tamu.edu, by phone, including Relay Texas at 1-800-441-7323, or in writing to Train PD, PD Portal Support, 4477 TAMU, College Station, Texas 77843. Both a transcript and accessible document of the content presented in this webinar can be found as resources in the course description. Click on the blue links under Course Resources in the description. When a link is clicked, a new browser window will open.
Right now, I'd like to welcome Amber Miller. She is the Professional Development Supervisor in English as a second language instructor at Austin Community College in Austin, Texas. Miss Miller has been teaching English for more than 20 years and is passionate about finding new and innovative techniques to bring to the classroom and share with colleagues. Amber's workshops focus on teaching, writing and grammar, general instructional strategies, and educational technology. And she is one of the newest members of the new cohort trainers that is able to provide training on our new digital literacy standards. So this time, everybody, give Amber a warm welcome.
Well, hi, everybody. Welcome. So this is Level Up Classroom Engagement with Blooket. And this is a tool that I started using just recently, just this year with my ESL classes. So I'm excited to be here to show it to you and hope you enjoy it. All right, so our objective today is we're going to explore Blooket.com, a website for making online games. We're going to experience a couple of Blooket game modes. We're going to learn how to make quizzes in Blooket, and then we're going to reflect on how you will use Blooket with your classes. All right, so what is Blooket? It's pronounced Blooket, and that's not from me. That is from their main webpage. They point that out right away. Blooket is another kind of quiz game. It's a new approach to online review games. It's a free edtech tool with a clean interface and that is easy to use. And these are key for me that I want to point out to you as we go into it. The free account provides plenty of storage with 13 different free game modes to engage students in different ways during every class. And by plenty of storage, I don't know if there's a limit, which is maybe different from some of the other quiz games. So pros of Blooket. I want to go into the good stuff. The interface is clean and easy for you and students to navigate. I say that as a person who uses quizzes and Kahoot a lot, and that there's a lot of stuff on the screen when you log into quizzes and Kahoot. When we go to Blooket, you'll see it's very clean, which is nice, especially for my language learners. The website does not ask you to upgrade all the time. I don't know if you've logged into Kahoot or to quizzes with your free account lately, but they ask me every time. So this website will not ask you. Up to 60 participants can play a Blooket game, which is the largest, I think, of the online games for the free version. So you can have more people playing at the same time. You can play games live with your students or set them as homework, like other quiz games. Multiple choice and type the answer are response types. So there's only two kind of response types, but it's nice that you can have a free response, a type the answer for free. And there is a large database of ready-made games to search through. You can favorite the ones you like to save them. So just like all the other ones, you can search for what you want. When you find the one you want, you just favorite it, you like it, and then it saves it to your account. And then there's 13 game modes. You can play once with one game mode and review with a different one. This is what my students love because they're always like, again, teacher, again. But I don't like to do the same Kahoot over and over again. But with Blooket, you can do one kind of game and then they say, again, teacher. And then you can give them a different kind of game so that it doesn't become repetitive or boring for you as an instructor or for the students. So that's what I love about it. So here it is. When you go to blooket.com, that's a website, and just make sure you spell it with a K-E-T, because I know I say kit, but it's not. It's like Blooket. But anyway, they're so like, you need to pronounce it correctly. They put the pronunciation on the first
Blooket.
page like that. So if you scroll down on this initial page before we log in or sign up, it has different information about how you can use it, but it also tells you what is a Blook. So for Blooket, all the students, all the participants get this square creature animal. And so they call these Blooks, and you get 60 different ones for free that your students can choose from. And then you get more if you pay. So these are Blooks, these little animals. And then if you do not have an account, you can sign up. It's very easy. It's just email. And there's only 2 options for signing up, as a teacher or as a student. But I'm already registered, so I'm going to log in. Log in. And then here is how it looks. Now, what I said about it being clean is when it opens up, you are automatically taken to your sets that you have created. So here we have my sets, and there's only one sidebar, and it doesn't ask you to upgrade, which I love. And it's very easy, especially for beginner tech users, to learn how to use. All right, so on the sidebar, you have create to create your own Blookets, and I will show you that in a moment. Discover is how you search for sets. So you can search for any topic you like. So let's say I'm teaching math and I want to search for PEMDAS. Then I'll see all these different games that I can choose from. What I usually choose is the more popular ones, so you can see how many times they've been played. So I'll look at it and I'll say, okay, this one has the most plays. So you choose one, and if I like this one, then I would favorite it, and that saves it to my favorites here, okay? The issue with Blooket is that I cannot copy and edit them, so you just have to find one that you like from the get-go. That is one issue with Blooket. So if I were to favorite it, then it goes to my favorites, and I can see all the ones that I have saved. And those live in my favorites. My sets are the ones that I've made. We'll go over that in a moment. History, you can see all the history of your plays. After we play one, I'll show you your history and how it works. Homework is how we assign homework. You assign it the same way as if you're going to play. I will also show you that in a moment. Play, this is for students. This is like if you have a code and you want to play, you go here. And then settings are your settings. And down here are marketing tools. So mainly we just live over here on the sidebar. But first of all, I want us to play a game so you can see how it works. And we're going to play twice, okay? So I'm going to choose one of my favorites here. We will do Wonders of the World, and you click host. Now, when I told you there's 13 different free ones, there's actually 14, but only this one is a paid one. The other ones are all free, okay? And they're all different, so you kind of have to explore them. We will do 2 today and see how they work. It's really important that before you give them to students that you know how they work, so that you know if it's going to work for your class. Of all of these, this one that says classic, this one is like Kahoot. Just like Kahoot. So let's play this one first. So I will click host. I remember in the chat, someone mentioned that they didn't like it when students can't see the questions on their device. In Blooket, the questions are always on their device. It'll always appear the same on your screen as it does on the student screen for the classic. So here I'm going to do random question order. Allow late joining, yes. Use random names, no, you can put your names. Allow student counts, yes. Students do not have to make an account though. They can always just join for free. And number of questions, and I love this because sometimes you find a game that has like 100 questions. I don't have time for that, but I can choose like 10 questions. And then if we play again, they'll have different questions if I do random question order. So that's something that I really like about this. So we're going to play this one now.
There's a question. How do you generate the link you shared to play?
You click this link up here that says copy join link. All right, so let's start. The closest island country to the ocean wonder Palau is what? Mariana Islands. Nobody got that. Oh, sorry, y'all. I did not actually play this with my students. This would be too hard. The Great Pyramid of Giza and Tunisia or Egypt. Oh, y'all are going fast. That'll be an easy one. My parents actually just went there and they were surprised at how small the Sphinx was. Egypt. All right, everybody. Is the Burj Khalifa the first, second, third, or fourth tallest building in the world? It is the first. It is the tallest building. All right. JB is still in the lead. Which of these cities is a wonder city? This is something I've never heard of. I don't know if y'all have. The answer is Durban, South Africa. Okay. JB knows it all. All right, let's go. Where's Petra located? In Jordan, yes. The Shaz got it the fastest. And Shaz is in first place. Good job. Nope. JB's in first place. Sorry. Still. On Mars, Olympus Mons volcano. And I got faster. Two more questions. Which city is the Taj Mahal located? In which city is the Taj Mahal located? Let's see who's in first. JB is first, Shaz is second. Okay. Remember, it's just like Kahoot. The faster you answer, the more points you get. Let's go fast. All right, last one. Let's go. Let's see who wins. Is the lighthouse of Alexandria really in Alexandria? That was a trick question, I guess. Who's the winner? Shaz is third, Megatron is second. And JB is first. Yay. All right, so we can view the report or we can play again. Usually my students will be like, again, teacher, again. But if you hit play again, it will take you back to the game mode screen. So you are able to choose a different game mode. And that's what I love about this. So I don't have to host another Kahoot game. I like to do the classic first because that's fun with everybody. But then I do another game mode. Now, most of these are individualized. So you don't have to host it as a teacher. You get to sit back and let them do it all on their cell phones. So that's what these are. I want to play one with you, but I'll choose another game.
So in these pre-made games, you can't edit them, right?
You cannot. The ones that are checked that say teacher verified are pretty good. Let's play one of these and see how it goes. But the other ones, you just have to check. So most of the teacher verified ones are for the pay version, I would say, but there are a bunch that are good for free. And then the other ones, you just have to check. So I check the ones that I like. I'll go through before class and find one that looks pretty good, and then I favorite it. And then I'll have it there so that we can play it again another day, because sometimes it's hard to find what you played last time. So that's why it's good to hit that star and favorite it. So like these are all ones that I played with my students recently.
Real quickly, we have another great question. So faster correct responses gets more points?
Yes, and that is only true in this classic game. The other games have different point systems. So I'm going to play one more game with you all so you can see a different kind of game mode and see what I'm talking about. Let's do this ELA one. This one is good. Before we go there, if you want to assign it as homework, you can click assign, and I'll show you very quickly. So when you click assign, it takes you to the same screen, except there's less options for games because you can't do the classic mode because that must be moderated by a teacher. But here you can choose different ones that are individual for students to do on their own. Some of these are hard for my students. Again, you have to kind of experience them to know what's going to work for your students. These tower defense ones and monster balls are kind of English heavy. And if they're not used to these tower defense kind of games, then they can be hard. But this cafe one and this factory one work pretty good. This one is like phone games where you have to cook things to order, but they have to answer questions right in order to get the recipe to make the food. Again, it takes a little practice, but my students ended up liking it. So to assign it for homework, I assign homework here, and then I can change the time. You can only go up to 15 days with the free version, but that's generally okay because if I assign it as homework, I want them to do it before the next class, right? And then you can put a goal for them. So how many times they should practice it. If I assign it, then it generates a link for them. You can copy this link, or you can give them the QR code and they can do it like that. But I want to go back and I want to play one more game with you so you can see a different kind of game. We'll do this one. I will host it. And my students' all-time favorite is Gold Quest because you can steal money from each other. So the nice thing about these games, if you do Kahoot and some student is always winning it because they already know the material, all the other ones are pretty random, not racing, but all the other ones are pretty random how they get points. Fishing Frenzy, you answer the question and you get a fish. The size of the fish determines the points you get. And it's just random. And that's what I love. But my students love Gold Quest because on this one, you get to steal money from each other. And so the person with the most money at the end is the winner. So I'm going to set this up for us, but you have to play it on your own device. I can show you, but it will be different on my screen than it is on yours. Let's try. Now, when you go to any of these other games other than classics, you get to choose if you want to do it for time or for points. For this one, I'm going to do time. We're only going to do 2 minutes, so it'll be fast. And you can choose how much time you want to give them. There will be instructions on my screen and on your screen if I click this. Everything else is fine. So the questions will always be random in these other games. You don't have to worry about making them random, okay? So let's see how this one works. Again, you just copy the join link, or they can use the QR code or use the website. Again, typically what I do is we will play classic first. So if there's any issues, we can talk about it. And then I will give them a different game mode to practice again because they'll always say, teacher, again. I'll join too. And I don't know if y'all saw, you can choose a different Blooket, a different character if you want while you wait. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and start it. So the directions are you need to answer the question, select the chest, collect golds, and then take gold from others. The most gold after 2 minutes is the winner. And for this one, a lot of students will have a problem on their phones because it'll say click anywhere to continue. And that just means push anywhere with their finger to continue. So choose a verb in the sentence. They danced. So when you get it right, you get to choose a chest. I'm going to choose the middle one. Oh no, I lost. Well, I didn't have any money. Choose the noun in the sentence. The children played happily in the park. So park. See, she sings beautifully. The verb sings. Let's see if I can get money. Actually, oh yeah, I got money. And then identify the noun in the following sentence. He studied math for hours. There's 2 nouns. Okay, I get to swap. So that means I get to swap how much money. So I'm going to take Shaz's money. Thank you. Select an adjective in the sentence. The delicious pizza was hot and cheesy. Delicious. Triple. Yay. Identify the adjective in the following sentence. The delicious cake was devoured quickly. Oh no, SJ just took all my money. Oh no, JB just took all my money. Which word is a noun in the sentence? Dog. So this is what happens with your students is you'll just hear them, ah. But here's what happens on mine is I see what place I'm in. I'm in 7th place. Oh, not so good. And SJ won because SJ stole all my money. So good job. All right. So that's another one. My students love it. They yell at each other in the classroom. Again, there's so many different game modes. We can't experience them all today. I do suggest that you go in and try them before assigning them to students. I do want to look at how you create sets very quickly. In Blooket, it's very easy, very easy. So you go to create, and then this is what you see. And let's say I wanted a colors Blooket, and then that's the title. And then here, you can choose an image or upload a file or upload by URL, but they have a pretty good selection of pictures. So I will just put colors and choose something. Rainbow. Okay, there you go. You can choose if it's private or public, which is not true of all quiz games that are free. And then when you make it, you can do a Quizlet import. And so if you have a bunch of Quizlets, you can import it. When you click on here, it shows you the directions. You can do a spreadsheet import as well. I'm just going to do a manual one very quickly to show you how easy it is. So manual and then create. So here I'm going to add a question and I'm going to say, what color is it? There's only 2 kinds of questions you can do, multiple choice or typing the answer. So I'm going to do a typing the answer so you can see what that one looks like. So I will click on image because I will need a picture for this. Image gallery again, and I'll just search for red. Just red, okay. And then they have to type in red. It's not case sensitive, so if they have a capital letter, it'll be fine. And then save. And then that's one. And then I can just keep adding more questions. The easiest way to do it for me is if I want to just keep the same question, I can also copy this question. That's what this one is right here. I can copy it. Still has my question, what color is it? But now I can change it to another color, blue. And then I can look up blue. That's nice. Okay. and then save. And again, you can also do multiple choice. So I could do add a question and have it as multiple choice. And then what color is it? And then green, which might be confusing because they have colors on their options, right? So here, red, yellow, green. Just to mess with them, I'll do that. And then it needs to be that one. And so the check box is where you select the correct one. I also want to say that if you teach math, then there's this option here so that you can input formulas because it's not easy to do with just the text box. So you can do that as well. And you can put the answer as a formula as well. Or the answer can also be a picture. So I could say, I don't know which one is white, and then I can add those. Oh, I can't do pictures. Sorry, you have to upgrade. Here we found a limitation. You have to upgrade to do pictures. So when you're finished making the quiz, you just do save set, and then you have the quizzes here for you to use. They're very easy to make. This one I imported from Quizlet. That's why there's so many. And then I added pictures once they got here. For now, I just wanted to give you a taste of what Blooket is, how it's maybe the same as other quiz games we've played, and how it's different. So now I'm going to go back to the presentation, and I want to ask you, what did you think about Blooket? Are there some things you liked, some things you didn't? Easy to use, yeah. I think for me, I have a lot of tech beginners and as teachers who want to do Kahoot, but that seems so confusing to them because there's so many options and so much on the screen. I recommend Blooket. And then there's not so many restrictions like as far as participants. So that's great. All right, I do want to go over cons before we go. So you can't copy and edit other people's quizzes. And that is biggest difference between other quiz games. You just have to look and make sure that they're okay before you use them. There is no app. So I don't know if that's a con or not, but I just put it on there. Like quizzes and Kahoot have apps. There's no app for Blooket. You can't see what individual got wrong in the free version. And I actually want to go back real fast and show you that. When I go to history, I can see what we did. And if I click on like here, okay, I can see the stats and I can see that JB got 6 right and 4 wrong, but I cannot see exactly what JB got right or wrong. So this is one of the limitations too. And this is where it asks you to upgrade, just so you know about that too, which is hard, especially when you're doing like a homework assignment, but just for in-class play, I don't ever look at the stats really. Homework can only be set to 15 days, which I don't think is that bad. Some of the games take practice for students to understand. Again, there's some that I look at them and I'm like, my students will not be able to do that. So you just have to look at them to see which one they'll be able to do. When starting the game, you can't make the QR code bigger, like you can with other ones, but you can copy the link and send them the link too. And you can't replay games that are in your history. So that's why it's important to star them, to favorite them really fast. If you look here and I go to history, I'm like, oh yeah, we played that one and I want to play it again. And I click on it. I can't find it anywhere. There's no way for me to play it again from the history. So that's why it's important. I learned this the hard way, to make sure you favorite the ones that you like so that you can have them again in your account. That's it. Mostly good, but there are some cons. And I have one more question as you leave. How do you think you would use Blooket in your class? What do you think? Review or break between lessons. That's great. Review. Yeah, we always use it as a review. Yeah, it's a great way to connect on Zoom. Yeah, for sure.
All right. Thank you so much, Amber, for this great check and tell session. I want to give a big shout out to Jessica for helping me in the co-pilot seat. And everyone have a wonderful day and a great weekend. Take care, everybody.
We hope you enjoyed this pre-recorded webinar. After you have passed the final test with a score of 80% or greater and have received your certificate of completion, please take a few moments to complete the course evaluation. Participant feedback helps Train PD at TCall continue to provide high-quality professional development. To leave a course feedback, please go to the completed portion of your transcript. To do this, hover over the My Learning tab and select View Your Transcript. Click on the drop-down arrow next to the word Active and select Completed. Then, click Evaluate in the drop-down menu next to the course you just completed. Please note that your feedback is greatly appreciated.